Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie, and I want to welcome you back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. Right now, we're getting ready to jump into Family or Fiance Season 2, Episode 2. The couple this week was Alexis and Danley. They were a nice, beautiful young couple. I believe they gave their ages of she was 25, he was 27. They've been together around 7 years, so it seems like they might have met around high school. They said they broke up for a little while. They got back together. They dated for 2 years, and now they've been engaged for 2 years. And so here we are. So you would think, okay, this is a nice young couple. I mean, 25 and 27, that's a good age to get married. I mean, if you're mature enough, go ahead and do it. But are they? Now, the issues, just from the sprinklings of the beginning, I thought maybe it was her family wasn't into him and they had some big religious separation. And I was like, okay, I really don't want to get into an episode of religion because I respect everyone's religion. I know people who have gotten married who are Christians and then the other faith is Muslim, or people are Christians and the other people don't believe in nothing. I've seen that and it's worked out fine, and I didn't really want, as a reviewer, have to like throw any shade or anything on anyone's beliefs. But I got some shade for you because it's not what I thought. Let's dig into it. Just off of the beginning, it's not about what I thought. Now, I'm going to get these issues real quick, and I'm going to try to make this a quick video because if you all watch the episode, you know they argued about the same thing throughout the episode. So you all know each member of the couple gets to invite 3 family members to the house so they can discuss their issues and get their family's blessings for the upcoming wedding. Now, Alexis, she invited her mother, her grandmother, and her uncle. I believe his name was Shannon. And Danley invited a friend named Keita. Get in the comments if I got it wrong. His cousin Tiffany and his best friend Chanel. And let me tell you some of these issues. Now, in the beginning, Alexis says her issue, she is one of them people who you don't have to point out their issues. She knows what her issue is. She says, I'm an insecure girl. He probably think I'm crazy because I call his phone over 200 times a day. I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And she said throughout the episode she had a job. So I'm like, when do you find time to call his phone 200 times a day? Now, I'm sure that was an exaggeration, but she kind of said it like it was cute. That's not cute. Now, she also says with her insecurities, she has to have all the passwords to his social media accounts. And when she wakes up in the morning, she gets up, get ready, and as she eating her breakfast, she sits up and goes through all of his social media accounts just to see what he's doing. And if somebody reaches out to them, she jokingly was like, hey, so-and-so says XYZ, you want to respond or you want me to respond? And I'm like, Jesus have mercy. If I was him, I just wouldn't have social media. It is a controlling thing that she has to have his passwords. But out of all the years she's had this man's passwords, she's never caught him doing anything. So at one point, do you trust him? But we gonna dig into that. So then after that first meeting with Dr. Tracy, I said, okay, this is the issue. It's a control issue and an insecurity issue. But why? Because she also stated like this is her high school boyfriend. She ain't dated nobody else. So if you ain't dated nobody else and got cheated on by anybody else, where do you get this insecurity from? Did he cheat? Like, I wish this was like 2 hours because I feel like it's so much more they need to dig into. But let's just dig into what we got. So off top, we have the family meeting. Each family member gets to go around the circle and say what bothers them about the relationship. So she starts with her family. Uncle Shannon says he's not down for the insecurities, like all that password checking. Like, Danley gonna get tired of that. And he also just wants to make sure Danley can provide for her in the future. Understandable. Understandable. The mom, she got into some ignorant comments. She's not down for his culture. Now, Danley is Haitian. I ain't gonna get on this channel and begin to say I know the first thing about the Haitian culture. I don't. I probably should, but I don't. But I also don't judge other people's culture. I believe you should try to get to know someone's culture if it's different than yours, and then you should also get to know that individual individually, and don't judge people for general stereotypes or assumptions that you feel about a culture that you know nothing about. But anyway, the mama said Haitian men believe women should be in the kitchen at home 90% of the time with the babies, and her daughter ain't down for that. And I said, Mom must not have watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, because I know Marceau ain't Haitian, but he think Tisha should have her ass in the kitchen 90% of the time. So I'm like, Mama, you wrong from right there, because off cultural lines, any culture can believe that. It ain't about culture, it's about that man. Do that man believe he want his woman to be a housewife, or do that man want his woman to work? Like, to me, that has nothing to do with anybody's culture. So Mom set off the first ignorant statement right there. Now it's Grandma's turn. Now it's Grandma's turn to say all the foolishness she want to say. Now, Grandma says she don't care nothing about that. She care about his soul. I guess Danley is a heathen, y'all. I don't know. He ain't. But Grandma is a pastor, and she said if he don't get saved, her grandchildren won't be blessed. So she ain't down for the marriage. And I'm like, oh my God, not this. And then Grandma goes in the background talking about he's Catholic and she's Christian, so it ain't gonna work. And I said, wait a minute, Angie, did you miss something? Because I could have swore Catholic people serve the same Jesus we serve. I thought it was just like what we call it, denominations. Am I saying it wrong? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like Baptist, AME, Church of God in Christ, non-denominational, like Catholic. I thought it was just a different denomination of Christianity, but we all serve the same Jesus. Now, she said they don't believe, Catholics don't believe in Jesus being reborn. I don't know. But I could have swore we all serve the same. So that confused me. And off jump, Grandma started talking about, Grandma in front of everybody said Haitians are wicked, and she ain't down with the Haitians because they wicked. And in the background, Alexis was like, she just thinks that because y'all do voodoo. And he was like, if y'all, Danley told Alexis, if you all would take any time to learn anything about my culture, you would know only a very small percentage of Haitians do voodoo. So how can you say all Haitians are wicked and you don't know anything about the culture and never want to take the time to come learn it? So off jump, her family, not the Uncle Shannon, but her mama and her grandmama is talking that ignorance. And I don't like when people talk in general about people's cultures, because it just makes you sound ignorant. And people will say, oh, well, that's just Big Mama and she believe what she believe. But no, elderly people can be educated as well. You can still respect them, but you can also let them know, look, you wrong. You can't say that about all Haitian people. You wouldn't like it if somebody said something about all black people. But now we go on over to his family. His cousin Tiffany says Danley has lost his voice. You are very overbearing, and you never let him be able to speak up for himself and do anything he wants to do. It's either Alexis's way or no way. I can see that. His friend Keita was like, Alexis is hiding something. She's always, if a male calls her phone, she has to go in another room to accept the conversation. And if a man texts her, she deletes the text thread. So I guess if you look at her text, all you see is female names. She could be changing the names, y'all. We saw that last week with Cindy. But this ain't got nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. But they never really jumped into her and her cell phone usage, because to me, is this a situation of I'm doing dirt, so he must be doing dirt, and that's why I'm insecure? We have heard of that happening. And anyway, his best friend Chanel is like, she's bossy, and he just really want his best friend to be single so they can go out there and flirt with girls together. And that's selfish, Chanel. You shouldn't do that. That's selfish. Let him be in love if he in love. Anyway, Dr. Tracy tasked them to go do their little things, and all they do is really play 21 questions. I don't know why she every week on. I hope she don't try to make a new name for it, because pretty much he had to go play Jenga on some large Jenga blocks, but on each blocks they write they 21 questions. It's 21 questions, Tracy. Just say 21 questions. And she got to go cook a Haitian meal with his family, and I thought that was good. It was an opportunity for them to get to know her better and for her to learn a little bit about the food of his culture. Now at 21 questions, everything seemed to go well with the Jenga blocks. He revealed that, that he didn't say what he did, but obviously he works overnights. And then once he finished working overnight, he comes home and he gets online and he's studying cybersecurity, which I think is a very good thing to study. And then after he finished studying, he spent time with her, but it's time to rest and repeat. And it seemed like she might work in a day, so they might have one of those cross schedules, which it can be hard in a relationship. That can be hard. Over in the kitchen, she is being a princess, as they say. She's being very spoiled. She is having the same argument of why she need his passwords, because he gonna cheat. She got to know what's going on. She don't care what nobody else say. And they were like, why do you feel like you Princess Diana? And she was like, I'm not Princess Diana. I'm Queen Sheba. And they were like, are you narcissist? Like, she's just very spoiled. She says she's spoiled. She only child. And I blame her mama. Because you can have an only child, because I have an only child, and it's the way that you raise them to where they know that the world does not revolve around them. They need to learn that the earth revolves around the sun, not you. Because they're going to get out there in the real world one day and really have a hard shock, especially, a part of life. We do wish all of our parents live to old age, but there is a part of life when one day your parents are going to be there. And who's going to put you on the pedestal then? Y'all got to quit spoiling them kids like that. Look at Alexis. If you don't want your kids to go out in the world thinking the world revolves around them and everyone has to put them on the pedestal and kiss their feet and all that, look at Alexis. Now, at the dinner, they finally finished cooking and doing whatever they want. And I feel like his family still ain't here for her, but her family, I believe, warms up to Danley at the end of their day one activities. They have a dinner. Soon as they get finished cooking the dinner, Grandma come in, and Grandma is a mess. She was like, I smell something. I smell some kind. What's kind of seasoning y'all using now? Was it rosemary? I don't like that. And Tiffany was like, no, Grandma, we just put a little thyme and seasoning flavor on the food. And she was like, I don't like that thyme. And right then and there, I yelled at the TV, Grandma don't eat. Grandma don't get to eat. Because we ain't here for all that, Grandma. We not here for all that. If you don't like it, don't eat it. But keep it all to yourself. You praying out the devil, but you bringing in all the negative energy. Past that. Next, Grandma sat at the table. She was like, the spirit is telling me Alexis should pray, because we got to pray. And I ain't mad at that. Pray over your food. And then here go Alexis. God is great. God is good. Let us thank him for our food. Amen. And everyone gets up looking like, did a 2-year-old just pray? Where the baby come from? Who said that prayer? And I'm like, no, ma'am, Alexis. Do you turn into... I just said, no, ma'am, Alexis. And I was looking up at the TV like, where did the 5-year-old come from with this prayer? Because, no, the 2-year-old, because my nephew is 5 and he don't even pray like that. But anyway, let's get along. So, at the dinner, everyone starts to get into Alexis. She wants Alexis told the cousin she wants more from Danley, and Danley is starting to get upset. And I feel like because he has his family there who has his back, he's able to express himself more openly to Alexis, and Alexis can't take that because she's used to him being at home, being quiet, and her being able to talk over him. But he has his backup. He has his squad with him, so no ma'am. And he's like, how much more do you want from me? I give you everything. And she was like, you can still give me more. A mess. And now she's like, my family, I'm very spoiled, and he treats me like a queen, and he lets me get away with it. So why should I change if he lets me do it? And that's true. And that's true. And so the family is trying to tell her about these passwords and her insecurities, and she don't need it, and if he gonna cheat, he gonna cheat. And she was like, I'm the type of person, you can't tell me nothing. Like, if you ain't saying what I want to hear, I don't want to hear it. And I'm like, no ma'am. You don't want to just surround yourself with an amen crew, with a yes group who's only going to tell you what you want to hear, because you need people to help guide you so you don't go down that path of destruction. Especially your close family and friends. They should be able to tell you when you're wrong, and you should be receptive to it. But anyway, let's keep moving. The next day, the grandma is praying the devil out the house. I don't know why they showed that. I mean, I wasn't mad at that, but everyone in the kitchen, once she finished praying, everybody started chuckling. So the next day with Dr. Tracy, he says, I feel more comfortable now with her family. I feel cool with them. I'm no longer shy to go up and engage in conversation with them. That was great. She admits that she's aggressive and that can't nobody tell her nothing. And that she only wants to hear the things that she wants to hear. She says she's very strong-minded, and she acts just like her grandmother. And this is where Dr. Tracy starts dropping gems on Alexis. And I appreciate Dr. Tracy this week. I feel like everything she said was right on point, and everyone can adhere to this advice. Dr. Tracy, as soon as she says, I'm very strong-willed, I'm like my grandmother, and Dr. Tracy was like, ain't your grandmother alone? Why would you want to pattern your behavior behind a woman who's alone and you're in a relationship? Gems. Why do you want to be like your grandma who's sitting in the house alone, no company, no companion, talking all that foolishness and hatefulness to herself? Why do you want to be like her if you trying to keep this man? She said, don't pattern your behavior in a relationship by people who are alone. Now, I'm not saying some people who are single, for whatever reason, can give you good advice. But sometimes, when you're in a relationship, you need to hear from people who are also in a relationship, because you want to know what they went through to get over whatever you're trying to get over. Tracy was dropping gems. She thought, now at this point, Alexis is seeming like she understands, and I'm thinking this is the aha moment. Alexis is getting ready to change. She's telling, Danley that she understands that she's controlling him and being overbearing, and that she wants to change. So now, okay, we all in the good. Now we at dinner too. She says she's working on herself and she sees her faults. Then she gets into, she wants Danley to go ahead and get saved and get baptized, and that'd be a good high point in their relationship. And then her mama jumps in and was like, so if Danley gets saved, can you stop checking his passwords? Will you trust him? I don't know what getting baptized got to do with trusting a man. There's plenty of baptized men out there cheating, but look, I ain't gonna get into that. Because the mama had a good point. She said no. She said, no, ma'am, I ain't never giving up them passwords. And the mom was like, if you trust him, because she said she trusts Danley, if you trust him, why do you have to go through his phone every day? And why do you need to have these passwords? And right then, that's when everyone around the table starts going in about these passwords. Danley's getting upset because he's thinking that she's changed from this morning, but she's still on that same foolishness about the passwords. And we ain't even gonna get into all this. It just started going downhill real fast. Eventually, somebody says, Danley is like, I'm changing the passwords. And she was like, if you change the passwords, I'm out. And he got up from the table, looked like he getting ready to change it. She was like, fine, I'm out then. And then grandma want to jump in with something reasonable. And she was like, only selfish people are single. And she was like, well, I guess I'm going to be single. And Danley is over it. Danley is over it. Like, the argument went longer, but I don't want to sit here and talk about all they did was argue about these dang on passwords. And so Danley is over. He go outside. His family is crying, trying to comfort him. They was like, we tired of her disrespecting you. We tired of her not trusting you. You give her so much and she gives you nothing. Like, Danley is over it right now. He goes up and has a meeting with Alexis, and she is just shut down. She is like, can't nobody tell me nothing. Like, she's pretty much saying the same thing throughout the whole show. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You trying to get me to change. I'm not going to change overnight. True, people don't change overnight. But you can't in the morning say you understand your control issues, and then at night talking about, I ain't never going to stop controlling them. Like, I don't know where she gets this from. Now, she does say somewhere in the program that her insecurities come from seeing how other women were treated in relationships, and I'm assuming that she's referring to her mother and maybe even her grandmother. Maybe they've been through some bad relationships in the past. I don't know. But girl, you can't live your life off of what your mama and your grandmother went through. You gotta live your life for you. Now, if Danley shows you a red flag, then you go back and remember what your mama and your grandmama went through and say, okay, no sir. But you've had his passwords for years, and he's never shown you a reason to be unfaithful. And then at one point she says, well, Danley is young, he got a good job, he's fine, I know he's gonna cheat on me. So she just needs counseling amongst herself to get over those insecurities, because she's a very beautiful woman, and this man really puts her on a pedestal and treats her like a queen. And I don't know how much more he has to do. I don't know what else he can do. Like, to me, girl, you got a good man, a really good man, one that's out there working, coming home, spoiling you, taking care of the house. He ain't cheating, and he willingly gives you them passwords. Like, you gonna mess around and lose him, because there's plenty of good women watching Family or Fiancé, just waiting for you to piss him off enough and lose him so they can slide on in. And trust me, they gonna know how to keep him. Trust me, girl. Now, day 3, Dr. Tracy is dropping more gems. She says, I can tell, no, I said by Danley's body language with Dr. Tracy, I can tell he's over it. She says she can tell when people have a breakthrough in these 3 days because of 2 things. One, she can feel the shift of energy in the house. She can feel the energy change. Like, people are now awakened and want to do better. She can feel the energy levels change. 2, most people, when they have that aha moment, they cry. She says they're not crying out of sadness or anything like that. They cry because everything starts bubbling up, and it's a release. It's a release of all the issues, and I can understand it. Like, you've been going through and you have this aha moment, and you're like, okay, I now have an understanding, and the tears come flowing out. She says, you ain't did none of this. I don't feel no shift, and you ain't cried no tears. You sitting up here and you still on that same BS. Now, here's the gem, because Alexis is talking about these passwords again, and she says she feels like she has to be in control because she doesn't want to be hurt. I understand, people put up walls and they do all kind of stuff because they don't want to be hurt. But the gem Dr. Tracy dropped is, it's very childish. You're living in a very childish world to believe you control someone, that you can control someone to the point where they will never hurt you. That's very childish, because at the end of the day, Danley is an individual. You can have every password. You can have that tracking app on their phone. You can do everything to try to control this man. And if he wants to cheat, he's going to cheat. Some men don't care about none of that. If they want to cheat, they're going to cheat. It's nothing you can do to control someone to protect your heart. The best thing you can do and the happiest feeling that you can ever have is just to live freely. To live freely and not give a damn. And until someone gives you a reason not to trust them, the best feeling is to have trust in someone where you know they out there and you ain't worried about them doing nothing. You hurting yourself more than anything. And she's like, Danley has chose to be with you. He's chose to be loyal to you. You are pushing him away. And the next gem she dropped is, every time you look into his account with his passwords, you're breaking that trust bond. Because every time you need that control and you look into his accounts and he has no privacy, you're destroying him. You're making him feel less than. Like it's no way he's ever going to feel good enough for you. And then the next gem she drops, she told Danley, this is all your fault. This is all your fault, mostly because you allow it. If you wouldn't give her the passwords and if you would have set a standard of you don't want to be in this type of relationship, this wouldn't be going on. This wouldn't be going on. Either she would want to be with you and change her ways, or y'all would be going separate ways and she'd be over there miserable with her mama, her grandmama by herself. Anyway, let's move on to the blessing ceremony. And this gonna be quick because ain't nobody give a blessing. Ain't nobody give a blessing. Matter of fact, Uncle Shannon said no because he ain't here for the way she acting. Grandma is still on. He ain't saved, so no ma'am. So his soul ain't with Jesus yet, so no ma'am. And then soon as the mama, she in the middle of her speech, Danley says, look, we ain't ready to get married. Matter of fact, she ain't even ready to be engaged. And he snatches the ring off her finger in the middle of the blessing ceremony. And I was like, I did not see that coming. I knew Danley was over it, but I did not see that coming. But as we continue to see the rolling credits, I was like, was this another stunt? But let's keep going. Now her family now is pissed, like, because he just embarrassed her on national TV by snatching that ring off her finger. And I understand that was embarrassing, but he said she needs to know a consequence. She needs to know that I will give her the deuces and be out. And by me, he was like, we still in a relationship. I ain't breaking up with her, but we ain't engaged no more. Like, no, she don't even deserve this ring. Now, to me, I said it was a stunt because, the show done went off. And after the credits, they talking. The first thing they put up there is Danley done gave her the passwords again. No, I take that back. The first thing, Danley did get baptized. So now grandma might like him now that he baptized. The second part is he done gave her the passwords back. She back in his accounts. They back at home. So what changed? Like, what's the consequence? You took the ring back just to give her back all the passwords and to be back on her insecure foolishness. Happy for y'all. Happy for you, Danley. I mean, at one point in life, it might not be right now. At some point, you're going to get tired of it. You're going to get tired of somebody constantly accusing you of cheating. But I said, wait a minute, Angie. Some men like crazy women. Some men like a crazy woman like that. So he could be one. He could be one who like all that arguing and fighting and insecurities. It seemed like on the show he didn't. I don't know. I'm really waiting because they do a reunion. I'm waiting to see what they got to say once it's all over and they come back and do that Where Are You Now? I'm very interested to see what they have to say and what changes they made. It seemed like they ain't made none. She probably got the ring back now too. I don't know, y'all. But this long enough. That was Family or Fiance. It was pretty good this week. If you can get over seeing them argue about them passwords the whole show, it was pretty good. I'm looking forward to next week because there's a whole bunch of eye rolling and not speaking going on next week. I did not see that. Him snatching that ring back really came. That was a shocker. Like, I didn't see that coming at all. But anyway, y'all, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. This Kiss My Cheeks TV, I will be reviewing Family or Fiancé for the rest of the season because I love this show. Go ahead and get in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about the episode. And go ahead and like and share this video. You guys, go ahead and have a nice Sunday night. I guess I'm about to watch the end of this San Diego game. Who they playing? Green Bay? Y'all, I'm going to go ahead and watch the end of it. I'm going to watch the fourth quarter. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Bye.